Welcome to another episode of the States Up Podcast. I'm your host, Brant Freeman, where we help tell the stories of the student athletes here at Texas State. Over the past couple of weeks, we talked Texas State track and field and tennis. This week, we're talking Texas State women's golf with the upcoming Sun Belt Conference tournament right around the corner. And joining us on this week's podcast is Yvonne Chamness, a junior out of Austin, Texas, who was a part of last year's Sun Belt Conference tournament championship team. She joins us now on the podcast. Yvonne, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on.
Thanks for being on here, Yvonne. And I have to start with last year's run of the tournament championship. You were part of that team. What do you recall about that run of the conference title?
I would say last year we were definitely, the team to win. I think we were probably the highest ranked in the conference, and we all went in, expecting to win. And we won the individual title, we won the stroke play title, and then we won the match play. So we won, all three areas that you could win. So I think it was just, we had high expectations and we were able to meet them all. So that was great, but it's definitely going to be a lot to live up to this year.
It was the first team tournament championship for the program since 2016. And I look at what you've done so far this year, 4 top 3 finishes this season, the latest coming at the Memorial earlier this week over there in College Station. So how well do you feel as if you've been playing this season?
I think I've been playing really good. There was, I had a couple bad tournaments a couple months ago, but then I played good in the last 2 tournaments. I won one and then I finished 3rd. So I think that's given me a lot of confidence back going into the Sun Belt Conference Championship. And I think I'm also more confident this year because we won last year. So I know what it takes to win and I'm just ready to go play. What's
been your favorite tournament to compete in so far this season?
That's a good one. I guess I would say my favorite was the University of Denver's tournament. That might be biased because I think I played the best there. But it was just a great tournament, and it was good because it was mentally challenging. The ball goes way further in that type of climate. So we had to, adjust really quickly. And I think I had an advantage then because, I got my numbers down right away and I was able to gain some strokes on the field.
You won your first collegiate tournaments at the Cardinal Challenge a couple of weeks ago. What do you recall about that experience?
It felt great. I think the first college win is always the hardest one to come by. I've been close a couple times. Before that tournament, I had finished 2nd in a tournament 3 times and I hadn't won. So it just felt like I had finally, reached that milestone, and all those 2nd place finishes weren't for nothing and I was just getting closer. So it was just such a relief to finally, get it done and get that first title.
So the Sun Belt Conference Tournament Championships are coming up here in Point Clear, Alabama really soon. What are your expectations for the tournament this time around?
I think things are a little bit different this year. We're not necessarily the team to win. I know there are a few teams in the conference that are ranked better than us. Specifically, Georgia Southern is ranked, I think, in the top 40 this year. They've gotten a lot better. But the good thing is that now the tournament follows a match play format. And match play, really, anything can happen. It's kind of a mental game playing against your opponent. So I think if we just get in the top 4 in the stroke play and make it to match play, we'll have a good chance. Because last year we played Old Dominion in our first match, and we almost lost to them. And we were way better than they were. And then we beat Georgia Southern by a lot. So anything can happen in match play. So I think if we just get ourselves a spot in that final round, we'll have a good chance.
So this is a relatively young team. You're one of just 3 upperclassmen on the roster, one of just 2 in the lineup for the upcoming conference tournament. Tell me a little bit more about your teammates and who's been standing out this season.
We just had a new addition meet in to the team from Mexico, and I think she's a really great player. She brings a kind of laid back attitude to the team. She's all about feel, and I think some of us have learned from that. And then we also have, a really good freshman, Ella Salama from Finland. She hits the ball a mile, and she's a great player. And then me and Maddie kind of lead the team on the upperclassmen side, and so does Carla. Me and Carla were both at conference last year, so I think we can give some, experience to the other players, and we know the course, so we can give them some tips. But I think the team all around, I think everybody is a good player, and we're very well rounded. We've just had a hard time this year all playing good on the same day. Usually we always have one round in the 80s or something that hurts us, and I think we just need to pull it together and have that round where we all play good on the same day, but I think it's coming.
Tell me a little bit more about your coach, Parr Nilsson. What's it like playing for him?
I love Coach Parr. He's super positive. I mean, he's very, I would say, unorthodox, a little bit untraditional. He has a lot of ideas, and he really pushes us in practice to do different things, hit out of bad lies and practice the mental side of the game and practice under pressure and all these different things to prepare us for like unexpected things that can happen on the course. And I think it's great. So when something unexpected does happen, which always does, we're prepared for it. So he has us spend a lot of time on the mental side and the strategic side, and I think it's been really good for us, and it's prepared us for conference this year.
So you're a relatively local product from Austin, Texas. You competed at Austin High School way back when you were in prep. What was your recruitment like here to Texas State?
I would say Texas State was, where I wanted to go the most. It was closest to home. And honestly, I did not have that many offers coming out of high school. I was not that great of a player. I walked on at Texas State my freshman year, and this was the best school that I could probably go to. I was ecstatic to get a spot on the roster. But I've had a great experience ever since. And, like I said, I wasn't that great coming out of high school, and I've gone exponentially better thanks to my coaches and my teammates and all of the facilities at Texas State and all of the support. So I've had a great experience here, and it's helped me grow a lot.
When did you first start getting into golf?
I was a freshman in high school, so not too early.
And so what inspired you to get into it?
I would say I'd kind of tried all the other sports, and none of them really stuck. And then I played golf, and I just loved it. And I knew that I always wanted to be a college athlete, and that was the last sport I picked up. So I just stuck with it. And, my dad and my mom both play. So we already had a membership at a golf course. So I had all the resources available to me.
What have been some of your favorite courses to play on?
That's a good question. I would say my favorite course I've played was Silverado Golf Course in Napa, California. We played there my freshman year, and it was super cool because I think they used to host a PGA event there, and Jack Nicklaus had won there, and we've played some other courses like that. So it's just really cool to play at those courses that have a rich history, and there have been legends who have played and won there, and it really just brings you back to the tradition and history of the game.
You mentioned you tried out some other sports before. What were some of the other sports that you were giving a shot at?
I played softball first when I was young, but just didn't stick. And then I played volleyball for a while and then tennis for a while, but I was not particularly talented in any of them, even if I liked them. But I felt with golf, I felt I did kind of have a talent and a niche for it.
You mentioned your parents. What is your support system like back home?
It's great. My dad has come to every single one of my college tournaments except for the one in Hawaii. So it doesn't matter where we're going. He's going to be there, and he's at every tournament of mine, whether it's college or summer golf, and he supports me and he pays for my lessons. He gives me advice. He's always encouraging and supporting. And then my mom, she doesn't come to all my tournaments, but every time I go back home, I play with her. So they're just, endlessly supportive and positive.
Do they also play collegiately, or do they just play recreationally?
Just recreationally.
Gotcha. So what are you majoring here at Texas State, and what is it that you would ultimately like to do?
I'm currently a business management major. I haven't really decided what I want to do after college. I would like to possibly pursue professional golf, but if not, some type of career in business, but that's all I got. I don't have any specific field I've decided on yet.
So as you kind of look back at your career so far at Texas State, again, you're a junior. What has really stood out about your time as a Bobcat?
I would just say the constant growth. Freshman year, my scoring average was probably in the high 70s, and then sophomore year, probably mid 70s. And now I think I'm around a 72 or a 73. So I've just seen really steady improvement since I've been here. Every semester I've gotten better. I've had higher finishes in tournaments. I've had a lower scoring average. And I think that just shows how this community and support system has allowed me to get better and how it allows my teammates to get better. And, with the results I've seen over the last 3 years, I just can't wait to see what I can do my senior year.
Well, Yvonne, congratulations on all your success so far, and best of luck at the upcoming Sun Belt Conference tournament.
Thank you.
Again, Yvonne Chamness, our guest on the States Up podcast this week. The Bobcats getting ready for the upcoming Sun Belt Conference tournament in Alabama, looking to repeat as champions again here in 2025. Let's wrap up the podcast for this week. For Yvonne Chamness, I'm Brant Freeman, as always, reminding you to keep your states up, and we'll see you next time.